If you're wondering what Port Credit has to offer, then you found the right video. We're going to be looking at a map overview of Port Credit and go through the area bit by bit so you have a better understanding of what Port Credit has to offer you. So taking a look at the map here, and I'm going to be looking away from the camera just because of how I have my computer set up. So you can see Port Credit is here. So this is the train track on the north end here. So anything south of the train track all the way up to Seneca Ave before it becomes Lakeview. And then you have Lorne Park and Lorne Park Estates on the west side here. And above Port Credit, you've got Lorne Park and Mineola. So that sort of encompasses Port Credit right there. If you didn't know already, Port Credit attracts a lot of people to the area, specifically in the spring and the summertime, whether you want to live here or just visit, because it's a cute little village and it's fronting on Lake Ontario. So a lot of action going on in the warmer months to be able to take advantage of that. And you'll see, so on the east end, it ends at Seneca Ave here before becoming Lakeview. You've got Mineola here to the north, as well as Lorne Park sort of encompassing it around the northwest end, Lorne Park Estates, and then just past the Seanmar townhomes just off Lakeshore. Here's where it ends on the east side and right past the park there. So a lot of parks, a lot of greenery, a lot of waterfront trails as well to take advantage of, like I said, which is why it's such a big draw. So let's just start on the west end. We'll kind of move west to east. So big difference between north of Lakeshore and south of Lakeshore, just in types of property sizes, lot sizes, and I guess sort of the mentality when it comes to any sort of neighborhood. So the north end is the train tracks, and then as I said, you've got Lakeshore Road kind of splitting Port Credit right down the middle. So over here, like I mentioned, you have the Seanmar townhomes, 1050 and 1055 on either side of Seanmar. You've also got Seanmar Park, which has a nice playground. They will most likely be redoing it. I haven't heard anything about it in a while. Right now, it's just a pretty beat up basketball court and a nice park with swings and slides and everything for the kids, and then a lot of green space. So while you're not supposed to have your dog off leash, plenty of people do, but if you are looking for the biggest off leash dog park, then you've got Jack Darling Park right down the road, not too far of a drive. But anyways, that's another story for another time. So you've got the Seanmar townhomes there on the west end. You've got the Bruckner Gardens as well. Beautiful greenery, beautiful gardens you can check out as well once everything's blooming. And you've got access to the waterfront trail, which goes all the way down behind here. And you can literally go from one end to the other following the waterfront trail and taking advantage of that and checking out Lake Ontario and everything. This big chunk of land, old industrial land, this is what Brightwater is becoming. If you've looked into Port Credit at all and wondering where and what it is, that's what's happening there. And they're building it very quickly. And so that's going to add a lot more residents, obviously, a lot more shops, and a lot more green space and walking trails and parks and everything like that. So yes, it's going to add a lot of congestion to the area. On the flip side, it's going to add a lot more utility of essentially this wasted space, which will be nice, which I think will be great for local community and for those coming to visit. I mean, we have no shortage of green space anyway, but that's just going to add to that, which there's nothing wrong with more parks and recreation areas. So these homes to the south, this is really the only row of townhomes you'll find because of all of these large detached homes, which you can see, and they fight a lot to keep it that way. It's zoned for detached homes, and they're going to keep it that way for as long as possible. Along Lakeshore, however, is where you'll find the rental buildings for the area. So you can see just along the north side here, and then the south side. Sorry, I'm using my fingers on the screen to move it around. You've got a nice little shop here, Shoppers Drug Mart as well, which is really nice. You've got another one in Lakeview on the east end. So really that's taken care of. A lot of action happening lately, not so much now, but definitely the last couple of years. As they're demolishing these cute little bungalows and building semis. So instead of one house on a lot, now you have two. So a lot of action happening with those there. You've got the Shores retirement condos as well going up. And then you've got Loblaws with the built-in Starbucks and little shops and an RBC Bank, TD Bank and everything here in this little mall. So this is where the majority of people are getting their groceries over here on the west end, and all of these cars here. So that's pretty much the Peel Chrysler's parking lot and shop going on there. So you'll always see them zipping through these side streets going to and from the dealership. Just like I was talking before about the park, that's a whole other story. You've got also these little side roads here, High Street, Wesley Ave. And you can see it's a dead end. So interestingly enough, there's some shops here mixed in with the residential, just backing onto the train track. So it's kind of hidden out of the way. And but this is a neat little area, again, with some beautiful homes, beautiful lots as well. Not too much real estate activity there because people just aren't moving out of the area. It's really nice. Gears Bike Shops, if you're into biking, it's one of the top shops in the neighborhood. You've got row homes here as well with some businesses. And like I said, Brightwater going across the road here, just a huge operation. You'll find a lot more businesses and everything going along on this north end here with a few homes put inside. You've got Riverside School as well, and the Port Credit Royal Legion, Canoe Club, the Don Rowing Club, lots of activities going on. And then, of course, the Credit River. So this is where you're going to find a lot of people, and especially at this park at Port Credit Memorial. A lot of activities, a lot of festivals, a lot of concerts going on as well. You've got the library. At the time of this video, it's still under construction. It started to sink on them a little bit, so they had to get that fixed, and then more condos, apartments, and that kind of thing running along the track. So this whole north end is essentially just all condos and apartments and businesses. Snug Harbor being one of the biggest seafood restaurants in the area for sure. A lot of people coming to the area just for that. And I'll zoom in here. So it's right on the water. You can sit out on the outdoor patio as well. So I mean, in the summer, it's hard to beat that. This is also a really nice park that you can walk through and just get a nice view of the water. This parking lot is free, so it's almost always full with people visiting and, of course, people going to work. It's easier to find free parking and then walk into one of the offices here on Lakeshore. You've got the hotel, you've got the marina, a lot of boats parked there. All of the restaurants along Lakeshore that, I mean, you can imagine Papa G's, Pump House Grill, a lot of the more popular ones, Crooked Q in there as well. Archtop, they've got some great coffee. Rock and Talks, they've got a rooftop patio, which a lot of people love. Again, really focusing around those warm spring and the summer days to really take advantage of what Port Credit has to offer. Just heads up, it does get busy, so keep that in mind if you're not taking advantage of that, but you just have to drive down Lakeshore to get somewhere, then something to keep in mind. And mentioning that if there is an accident or some sort of crash on the QEW, a lot of the traffic, because I'll just zoom out a little bit here, it's the main vein connecting west to east. So if there's an accident here, people are going to be coming down Mississauga, again, where there's a lot of construction happening right now at this junction here. They're redoing everything there, widening the QEW and Mississauga Road and everything. So Lakeshore can get really congested if something happens here, and because it's the quickest diversion for people to go. They're not going to go all the way to the north end to come back. They're just going to hop on to Lakeshore. So it doesn't happen often, but it does happen enough where it could get frustrating. But anyways, back to the area here. Mentor College, another big draw to the area as well, being one of the top private schools that your kids could go to. And of course, you've got the Port Credit Go train and parking and everything there. So essentially, think of this north end once you're east of the Credit River. A lot of condos, a lot of apartments, businesses. You've got the schools, the Go train. The south end continuing along here is where you'll find, again, a lot of the larger homes and just beautiful properties. I mean, you go down Cumberland, these are $7, $8, $9, $10 million properties at the time of this video, especially these ones along the water here that have direct lake access. And all of these parks you could go to as well. A lot of people biking from Toronto down to Mississauga. If you want to spend the time doing that, then that is possible too, using the waterfront trail. Mix the waterfront trail and taking the roads through the neighborhoods to connect all of that. Adamson Estate, a huge one. So that's just actually in Lakeview. And yeah, we'll cover all of that in a different video. So there's a very quick rundown of Port Credit. Like I said, looking at the map view, it really is a beautiful place to be and spend time, especially in those warmer days. Just keep in mind, like anywhere in the city, there's going to be construction, there's going to be traffic congestion. Like I said, if anything happens on the QEW, right now the Here Ontario is under construction for the light rail transit, so that can be a mess right now as well. So what's the next road you go to? Well, you go to Cawthra. But of course, everyone has the same idea. So now Cawthra is busy. And it's sort of this never-ending thing and just a part of life of being in Mississauga, and especially South Mississauga overall, if you're going east to west or south to north. So a little heads up there. Any questions, let me know. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be covering the rest of the areas as well. If you like this map overview, let me know. If you want more details, less details, I would love to hear the feedback. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who may be interested. Thanks for watching.